ready whenever you're ready.
All right.
You want to do the intro?
Try it. What's going on? It's your boy Bugatti, the host, and we are back with another episode of PinkTalk Podcast, and we are getting a special update with our Kindred Spirit family. And they got that infinity sign for a reason, because they have infinite things going on right now to try it. So we just gonna get a little update. Antonina, RJ, how you guys been?
Good. Yeah, we're doing all right.
All right, lots been going on since the last time we seen each other. I've been broke up. I've been on crutches, had surgery a couple times. Right, yeah. We survived the pandemic, and we all still got a lot going on, and we made it through it all.
For sure.
So we're going to talk about some of these updates of what you guys got going on here at Kindred Spirits. So first, we're going to start off. Last time we spoke, you had the deck of tarot cards about to come out. So we're going to talk about that. How has the tarot cards been going?
Well, it took longer to get them into this format than one might imagine. So last time we talked, I had finally finished drawing all of them, and we were thinking it was going to be out sooner. But then the pandemic kind of slowed us up a little bit.
Yeah, which it done for everybody. You know, it stopped a lot of things. But all the survivors definitely made it through it. And so as we can see, I'm here, you guys are here, so we made it through the pandemic.
Absolutely.
That's what the deck's about. It's about surviving. And it's the story of survival. So I'll read you the back of the book.
Okay.
The deck.
Yeah.
It says the Big Zonka Tarot deck teaches the lessons of the tarot through the eyes of displaced people. Imagery inspired by the lessons processed through personal and spiritual experiences of lineage artist and shaman Antonina Whaples. That's me. The granddaughter of a Holocaust survivor. The deck's name refers to the work camp that her babcia was interned in during World War II. This deck will award users and supporters by bringing this lineage information to the forefront of our collective memory and by providing a tool to access pieces of our hearts and minds that need this healing. Only those who can respect these hard-won lessons will reap the rewards that this deck offers.
Okay. So with that being said, you know, like how has the movement been formed? You know, as far as I'm pretty sure you've been using them for readings.
Yeah.
You know, have you had anyone purchase them? A lot of purchases.
Well, RJ can speak to it a little better than I can. I've been sort of hermited away during the pandemic. I have 2 brain injuries, and I've been going through a lot of medical care myself.
Okay.
Actually found out during all that during my injuries, I had broken both my rib cages and had never received medical treatment for it. So the pandemic for me was, you know, being at home and working on all these projects. Like all the artwork that we've got up was mostly produced during that time and installed during that time and focused on the jewelry and everything. So RJ's been really holding down the fort with our Romanica, and he's been making sure things get sold and shipped, and he gets to interface with people every day and hear from them what they have to say. But last Friday, actually, I got called in here to open the store. One of our workers had a bit of a late start. And the first person who came through the door wanted a tarot reading, and I never got to do readings in the deck. So I was like, you're the lucky one. You get to be the first read. And the read was so easy. It was so on point. And she knew, like, she was looking at the cards, and she was like, that's the most obvious reading I've ever had. And I put Jesus in my deck. Like, he's in a lot of cards, and he has a lot to say.
Okay.
So he came up over and over again, and she was just like, I knew it. Like, I've been praying about this, and I've been praying about that. And there's like, this deck is just really easy to read. Like, the visual imagery in it isn't hard to understand. Like, when you look at a card, you're like, yeah, I know what that's about. So it was exciting for me as the artist and the person who made the deck and like thought about all the visual images to actually see it in practice and see the person that I was giving the reading to so engaged in it. It was fast and it was easy. I mean, it was a 5-minute reading, and she got everything she needed to know out of that and left praising the Lord.
Okay.
So, you know, there were people coming in, like, well, she was like literally praising Jesus in here. They were like, what's going on? I was like, y'all don't know exactly who we are.
So, you know, as far as the deck of cards is what? Is it
78.
78 cards.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how do you come up with your starting point, you know, as far as when you begin in the deck and, you know, the in-between to the end?
Well, I started the deck in February of 2018, and I had already been through my first brain injury. I was going through a divorce. There was a lot of stuff happening through all that was really coming against the business. And one of the things that had really come up against me during a whole horse situation was my actual shamanic identity and heritage. And I was just really grieving because I come from a Holocaust survivor family, and I can't tell you how complicated that is and how more complicated that's gotten during the Trump administration and then afterwards. And it was about managing all these people's emotions and all these spirits that were coming to me. And I decided that the best way to honor them was to actually make this deck. So I sat down every day and I meditated on each card in order. So I started with the major arcana, and I drew out all those cards, and then we produced a little mini indie deck, which was the size of business cards, and we did a little thing with that, and people really supported that. We did 51. We sold out of those in 2 months or something. And I had told everyone, it's not just the major arcana, we just want to have something to give you all, and we want this to be something that you understand is important to us. And I'm going to keep going and finish them up. So I just kept going, and every single day I wrote or drew the card until I was completely finished. And we finished right when we had our podcast.
Yeah.
So it was a really intense experience because I felt like I was actually living through the card. Whatever my life, what was ever going on that day, I was using the card as a lens for the experiences I was going through. And I had some really intense ones, especially when I was going and drawing the major arcana. The day I had my second brain injury was the day that I drew the wheel card. I came back from the hospital and laid in my bed and got up and thought to myself, what is it going to be? And my mom had given me this shirt at the hospital because when I had the concussion, I was literally projectile vomiting all over myself, and not a very pretty picture. So I was at the hospital, and she came and she had this shirt that said Wojak, Wojak, the bear that went to war. And I was all right, that's what the wheel card is. So in my deck, it's this symbol. I'll show it to you. It's this bear on a drum, a medicine wheel, and it represents our ancestors. So in the wheel, in the regular tarot deck or the Rider-Waite deck, it's called the Wheel of Fortune. And so to me, I started to understand that there were just these experiences I was going to go through in my life that I wasn't going to understand, these brain injuries, but that it was part of some sort of karmic connection to my ancestors, and that it was fated. And it was because a year later, 2019, I actually ended up having a brain aneurysm from the injury, and my bobshed had 3 of them. So I went through this whole medical experience, understanding what she had gone through. And there were other things too, I started having these experiences where people started to basically come and persecute or harass us in the same ways that they did my ancestors. So I started to really get it wasn't just now I've watched these people who I love go through this. It became
a reenactment.
Yeah. So this is the bear. And it's one of the simplest cards of the deck. It's just really black and white, not too many crazy details. And then I just kept drawing, and I just kept doing it until this whole thing was done. I mean, this is how far I had gotten, and this is the rest of the deck.
Okay.
So I just kept doing it.
And right now they're in order.
They're in order.
They're in order as
so that's where I was
from the start.
And now I finished
to the ending of the deck.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've been doing a lot of things. You've been staying busy. I know that's a lot of thought. A lot of creativity, a lot of different things come into play when you are creating that deck, and 72 of them. So you've been rocking with them because that was 2020. What month was that? That was July. So yeah.
That's right.
And so like I said, you guys have been busy. A couple different things. The book. Let's talk about the book.
Yeah. I wonder if we have a copy of it here in Bible. Crap. Yeah, we published a book last year. It came out kind of in the fall. It's interesting. That's also a project that I had been working on during my brain injury. So it was something to focus on. And so many times people have come in here asking questions about the stones, and they'll bring in a stone book, and I just look at the book and I'm that's not really accurate. That doesn't really make sense. And people love our little description cards, and they would just like walk away with them. So at some point, I was like, you know what? We need to give these people what they actually want. Like they need to have something they can look at, and they can hold, and they can go through. So the book is Stone People: An Introduction to Stone Medicine.
Okay.
It's not too big.
Field guide style.
Yeah, so like a field guide. We made it the size so you can like put it in your bag and bring it with you. It starts with a foreword where I have dedicated the book to the spirits of the city of Winston Salem, and to thank them for supporting us, and also for all of our loyal supporters over the years. And specifically dedicated to RJ,
Okay.
his ancestors.
Much appreciated.
And I mean, I have a lot to be appreciative of, like the signs that we have up here on the walls with the different chakras were one of RJ's first projects when he became my apprentice to make these, and so we put them in the book. So RJ is in the copyright.
Okay.
And I give him credit in there, you know.
Yeah,
So
that's
you
what I'm
can
talking
go
about.
through the book and you can learn about how my lineage system thinks about crystals. But I've translated it into the chakra system because that's really what people are understanding the crystals through these days. Like that's what the majority of people come through here looking for, and that's why we arranged it like this.
Okay.
So I also added in some information in there about the cosmology that I come from and about different energy fields and how these things work through your body. So that's a really like nugget of information. RJ has something. What do you say when you tell people about the intro of the book? You're like,
What did I say? I said a lot, I think.
like, look, you need to buy it for just the.
Oh yeah, you buy
part
just for the
alone.
intro. Yeah,
Just
last
for
a
the
lot of
intro.
things like introductory, but like why this works, how this works, how I can work with it is like the forward of the book alone has a little bit like more value than we can get in many other books. I will say.
Okay.
Simply said. I think a lot of
Try to
times.
make it really easy for people to read. It's written at a 9th grade reading level because we have found that we support a large community of people, and the last thing that we want to do is discriminate against somebody based off their intelligence or their education level or the way that they use words, right? Because we all come from these different languages. And we wanted it to be so like anybody could open that book up and understand what I'm actually saying.
I got
so
you.
it's accessible. And then it's divided up by the chakra system. So it'll be like root chakra, here's the chart that we have up, and here are all the stones. And the descriptions that we use in the store include like woven into that, but then there's extra information added on.
Okay.
Then there's also how to cleanse your crystals, how to charge your crystals, how to meditate with your crystals, grids that you can use with crystals, and that's all included. But we did sell out of the book really fast.
Okay, that was gonna be my next question. Is this the only place that you can get a copy of the book? Is just in the store?
But RJ is finishing up on some pieces of the project where he's going to be making it available on Kindle, I think.
Yeah, Kindle and Apple Books later this year.
All right.
And there is an audiobook which just released on our website.
So y'all make sure y'all get the audio book because they sold out of the copies in the store, and it'll be on Apple Books and Kindle.
Yeah, and the audiobook is on the store website. So if you go to kindredspirits.ws and click on shop, it's right there. And we made it about $10 less than the book, so it's a little bit more affordable. And you get the audio, you have the files, you can
Right.
wherever
Put
you
the
want.
AirPods on.
Yeah, you can legit like meditate with it. Like even if you're working like through a particular chakra, you can sit down and do the meditation, as well as learn about the stones that you might have included as part of that meditation. Also, but the audio books are pretty engaging. Offering.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you go on the website, tell them the website once again.
Yeah, it's kindredspirits.ws.
When you go on there and get the audio book, you make sure you throw some extra stuff in the cart too.
We try to make things as accessible as we can. Like we want people to have this information. That's always been our passion as a store is education and accessibility. So while there is a cost for the labor of it all and the production of things, we try to keep those margins a little bit tight so that we make sure that everyone can get that.
Right.
We want to be exclusive in that way, although this has been the only place you can get it for now.
Right.
We did have like a little ping with it where we got nominated for the Coalition of Visionary Resources Award, but like the biggest name in the books of stones. His name is Robert Simmons, and this is like literally the book I learned from the old owners of the store.
Okay.
That guy put out a new book this year.
Okay.
So he won.
But that's not a bad person to be head to head with.
Right.
It's
Right.
nominated for an international award.
All right. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not dribble.
Yeah. Y'all definitely doing your thing. Also, another thing I want to know a little bit more about herb school.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh my gosh,
You
you've been a
talk
labor of
about
love.
it.
So, herbalism is definitely one of the core tenets of the work that we do here at Kindred for both physical well-being as well as spiritual remediation as well. And so, Piedmont Herb School is it's a 12-week introductory course for anyone who's looking to get a framework understanding of what herbalism is, as well as how to begin doing like medicine making to support one's well-being through natural remedies.
Okay.
So it's a really comprehensive course. I took it with Antonina back in 2017.
Right.
I do
My
believe.
apprentice.
It was one of the last in-person offerings of the course, which we had. But
Well, we did. In 2019 was the last.
Yeah.
Because that's when we filmed it. So
Right.
We filmed the whole course in the summer of 2019, spring and summer, and then COVID hit.
Well,
So how interesting is that? You know, we like felt the preparation for the class.
yeah, so definitely a timely time. I think 2020 showed us all that being serious about your health and being able to tend to one's own health.
yes.
Is vitally important. So this is the course which definitely it goes through all the systems of the body. And so it's, I guess similar to how the story is structured by chakra, the course is structured by systems of the body. And then Antonina covers the herbs, the medicines, and the frameworks of understanding for treating conditions which occur within the body.
Okay.
It is done through a 5-element Chinese, traditional Chinese medicine theory, which I really appreciate, or appreciated in my study of herbalism, because the Eastern framework does have a more hypercentric focus on healing and not just symptomatic treatment or treating the symptoms of a thing. And so I think one highlight of the course that I really enjoyed was not only being able to learn about the body and how it works, but also what it actually means to restore back to a state of healing. Because it's one thing to be living with something, or going through something chronically and, helping to make yourself feel better, quote unquote, but it's another thing to mask it, but to work towards a state of healing is a totally different, beast entirely. And I think Antonina is definitely, I will say, if anyone knows how to heal, like Antonina knows how to heal. And so this is a course for if you're wanting to incorporate a natural practice of healing. This is a course which can get you jump started for that. And that's going to be that's being offered presently through June. It's offered at a discounted rate, so there's a $200 off the course price there, and so those are available. We just want to get this information out to people.
Okay.
And there are going to be some scholarships which we're making available to the community as well for people who are, in need or supporting their communities in other aspects. We want to get this information to the people who are supporting people, for sure. And so there's a lot of ways to get connected with it.
We've always offered those, in person and online is the goal. And I think one of my favorite things about the online program is that we videoed the program. So there's some really beautiful videography and filmography throughout it, and especially in the pieces of the class that are about identifying herbs and making the medicine, because you get to see the students who are there, and it's basically filmed at my house and property, which is like covered in herbs. So you kind of get to be in my space. You get to meet with the medicine woman, and you get to be invited into the kitchen. You get to learn how I do it. And it's much more casual than some of the more formal experiences people have had with their education. And that's not to say that it's not packed with information. It's just not intimidating.
And you can consume it at your own pace too, which is a big benefit, I find.
It includes lectures that I taught at Wake Forest Baptist Medical School. So there was a portion of my teaching career where I was a guest teacher over at the Integrative Medicine. I guess it's a first year students at Baptist, and so I included all of those slides and informational resources, so you can literally take the same class or get the same information in addition to the other class that Wake Forest Baptist Medical School students got to have.
Okay.
So,
And as far as the herbalism, is there anything or any protocol that you guys may have been using during this pandemic to kind of keep the COVID, block it? Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, I will say this as just a little disclaimer. I've noticed that professionals in the medical industry have really come after folk herbalists or what I would consider traditional healers. Like, for example, my entire healing lineage comes through my shamanic lineage. So to me, this is my tradition. These are my practices. I'm not trying to say anything bad against the medical industry, but during COVID, there's been so much talk on the media about people like us who are out there giving out information, and there has been quite a bit of censorship. So I don't want to lead anybody astray. I don't have anything to say about vaccines. This is just information about keeping healthy. And so I try to make sure I take a lot of antiviral herbs. And there's like a whole list of them, which I would be more than happy to send Ms. Faith, and she can let all your viewers have a list. And I take those fairly regularly. And I really try to, the biggest thing is that if you want to keep your immune system strong, you have to make sure that you're sleeping. Right. And so I think that's one of the other reasons why people have had an issue is because everyone's really stressed out. And our adrenal glands are just totally fried. So if there were like 2 things you could do, you should rest. You should take these antiviral and adaptogenic herbs. And adaptogenic herbs are herbs that allow your body to adapt to natural stress responses, literally changing the capacity of your cells to allow your body to build up new tolerances to stress. So for example, if you used to get stressed out like right here when something happened, right? And it's like this level of stress, like going through a breakup. And you take a bunch of adaptogenic or what they consider tonic herbs for long enough, it really feels like you're right here. And that's how your body responds. So I think that just by caring for your immune system in very basic ways, hydration, nutrition, sleep, so important. You're going to be targeting so many systems of the body through just that. And then you add in some antiviral herbs and some adaptogenic herbs, and you're just building yourself up more. And the term adaptogen was like derived from Russia during the Cold War, and they did all this studying of their herbs to see how they would increase the performance of their Olympic athletes. So that's like where most of the data comes from, and it's very effective. And they're considered to have a non-specific action on the body. So it's not like they do this exactly to you. It's just that they know that by taking them over a period of time, the more that you take them, the stronger your adrenal glands get. So you don't end up with that adrenal burnout that then makes your immune system incapable of responding. Or it makes you have an acute response to everything. It's like you get sick and it's like, bam, your body goes like freak out mode and you're sweating and you have a fever and stuff. It might get to the point where you've taken this long enough, your body might even have gotten sick. You might not know that because you keep on trekking. With, of course, for the people who want to argue against that, you don't want to be going around with COVID, not knowing you have COVID and hurting somebody, but that can spread out to your whole life. But at the end of the day, we know that COVID is just a very strong virus. So anything that you can do to mitigate viral infections, or treat viral infections through your body's own immunity is going to be what makes it the most effective.
Gotcha. That was very, very informative right there. Because me personally, I haven't got the vaccine. I don't think I'm going to get it. I just continue to remain safe, mask up, wash my hands, things that we should already be doing anyway. But I've been shaking it, pretty good. Like I said, just doing everything, just being proactive.
For sure.
But back to you guys. Back to you, Mrs. In competition for Miss Fitness, North Carolina. Is it North Carolina?
Oh no, it's it's funny. So I won 5th in the state for bodybuilding.
Okay.
For the state competition when I was 22 years old in 2010. So like my senior year of college, I competed and I took home a trophy. And that was like a very formative experience for me in health and wellness. And I used to train people. I ran the bodybuilding circuit, and I was in some publications. So it was like an interesting part of my life. And I've always been very into wellness in that way. I started to incorporate all of the experiences that I've had into one, and that's sort of why I've ended up today. But I got a text message from Muscle and Fitness Hers magazine that they had selected me to compete for the cover of that magazine as Ms.Health and Fitness.
Okay.
So a little bit different from the bodybuilding stuff that I've been doing before, a little more concentration on the health and the fitness, less on physique.
Okay.
So they had a little link, and I clicked on it, and I was kind of like, I don't really know if this is real or not, but I checked in with some of my people, and they were like, no, that's legit. Like, you should definitely try. You might have a chance. So when I filled in all their, like, you know, biography stuff, they, like, made me a page and let me know, like, they're only, like, we're hand-selecting people. And so if you win the national competition, you get featured on the front of the magazine, they award you with $20,000. And so I'm trying to win so that we can give away scholarships and that we can spend that money on developing the intermediary herbal program, which is more advanced and covers topics I think that people are more, like, would be even more deeply interested in, especially stuff around like clinical illnesses and maybe even terminal illnesses and stuff like that. So I'm excited about it. I'm a little nervous. I posted my link from them announcing that I'm competing, and it's got like a bunch of photos in it of me doing my thing. And if you Google my name and you put bodybuilding on it, you'll see my official bodybuilding pictures online. It's a little embarrassing to me. I'm just like, oh my gosh, you know, I'm up there on stage.
Well, congratulations to you on that. We hope you win that. You'll have to give me that link so I can vote, so I can pass the word on, so that other people can vote, so that you can win that $20,000, and that you can do a good deed and give some scholarships back to the community. You guys are doing great things. That infinity sign, like a racetrack, nonstop, forever and ever. But lastly, but not least, Winston Salem Fashion Week is coming up. Is that correct? When is the date of that?
Yeah, so there, you know, it's a week that celebrates fashion, and last year we went virtual for the first time because of COVID. We had a pretty cool experience though. Sika hosted us, the Southeastern Center for Contemporary Art, and they're going to host us again this year, but we're going to be able to have, I'm pretty sure, I don't think I'm messing this up, a live showcase.
Okay.
So I believe that our line, and I represent or design for Goodwill, and I go to Goodwill and I shop Goodwill, and then I upcycle their clothing into a line. And I believe our date, the date that our models go out, is on the 25th, and there will be tickets. And I did just hear from Miss Nikita, the founder and producer of Fashion Week, that there is a promotional video shoot coming up this Sunday. So I'm going to be out downtown by the Biotech Plaza with some models and a videographer and a photographer. Like, we're going to be filming the promo video, and it's going to be widely distributed, and it's going to have all the information. And I think at this point they're still looking for models. So if you know anybody out there who wants to model for Winston Salem Fashion Week, you should like check in with the. You could do it if you want to be one of my models. I'm trying to get some men into my line. I reach out to people all the time, like, hey, you still gonna model for me? But I think it's gonna be cool. I think we're gonna have some themes this year. I think it's gonna have a little bit of like an 80s, 90s vibe.
Okay.
I've been like planning out my outfit for the shoot this weekend. I'm kind of excited about it. I'm gonna wear some of my hand painted clothing that we sell here and get funky and let myself get on the video, I guess.
All right. And during this Fashion Week, what are some of the festivities or events that goes on other than the fashion show?
Yeah, well, in the past, and I'm going to say that my second year with Fashion Week was last year. So
Okay.
I had my first year was my first experience was their 5th year showcase.
I got you.
It was cool because the mayor came down to the Winston Salem Cup Museum. We had like an opening night, and a lot of people were there, and they showed up, the models and the designers, and I think like people from the news were there. Like, we saw some newscasters, and the mayor came down and he gave Nikita the recognition she deserved for Fashion Week and named
Nikita
Wallace.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a Winston Salem State grad.
Okay.
And I think that Fashion Week was actually born of her graduating thesis. That's how it all got started. But there was like a cool mixer down there, and he awarded them with a proclamation that it would be Fashion Week during this time. So the city has actually stamped it as Fashion Week, which was pretty cool. And there was also like a cool event we went to, like kind of another designer model mixer.
Oh, the Chanel mixer.
The Chanel one down at Brickstown Inn, I think. And that was really fun. And I think a lot of the stuff's just ticketed, so you like buy the tickets and then you get to come out and vibe with everybody. Then there were like different showcases, so like there's a different showcase for the different brands being represented by Fashion Week. So there's like a night that they do the champion line for Hanes, and then there's like there have been in the past like stores from the mall, and they send their models and their clothes and they do that. And then there are some independent designers who have like their own brand, like 2 years ago, Swante Designs. I love her work. I mean, I haven't met her personally other than in passing at the show, but she had some like really cool hats with the lace and everything, or the tassels. So she had her style to showcase, and then the Goodwill's industry part is where we come in as designers and do that for Goodwill and show people the value of keeping things out of the landfill, keeping fashion more sustainable, because it is an industry that has a lot of waste associated with it. And we try to weave that all in together and then put it out on the runway and let our models spread their stuff. And it's been really, I would say, it's just been such a rewarding experience, not just to work with Nikita and her crew. Like, I love Nikita and I love Akila. I love her husband, Daryl, who I found out was his boss before he came to work for me.
Okay.
So there's like money connections there. And he's another Wake Forest grad. And the thing that I liked even more than just these like professional connections, networking is always important, is just getting to work with the models. Because there's a lot of like young people who are involved in it and they're trying to take themselves seriously as an artist. And that, in my opinion, is my job, is to be there to support them and to treat them with the seriousness that they deserve and make sure that they look their best when they're out there, but to also be somebody that they can refer back to and like make sure that you can connect. Like, we've had our models come in and
relationship with
do like just little bits here and bring them on to various projects we're doing, or even to talk with them on the podcasts that we do or the live feeds that we do. And I think one of the most rewarding moments for me when I was kind of like, what came out of this was I was researching for marketing data for us. I was just looking at my name, like Googling my name. And I found this girl's modeling profile, and she had used me as a reference. And she had used the photos from the show in her portfolio. And I looked at that, and I was just like, that is what this is all about. This is the moment of pride. Like, I helped her, and that's all I need to know. That's all I need to know out of that. So that's the joy of Fashion Week to me. Because it gets crazy. Every year I'm just like, can I do it again? And then I do it again.
You're gonna continue to do it. You're a striving person. I can tell that. So I know you're not gonna stop. That's all. A bunch of horse hockey.
I have my moments of panic. Don't worry. I'm not like an island.
Well, it hasn't even been a year. You guys have been running 1,000,000 miles an hour. So as far as coming up, the weather's breaking. It's about to get warm. The world's opening back up.
Yeah.
We are. I can't say we're not in a pandemic anymore, but we don't have to worry as much. We're able to do some things. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, what does Kindred Spirits have coming up for this summer season of 2021?
Yeah, well, we'll definitely be reintroducing some of our in-person event offerings. And so a lot of our classes over the 2020 year were offered virtually, and so we will be re-offering them in a more in-person, intimate offering of space there. We do have some exciting kind of mixers of our own coming up this summer as well. Some metaphysical mixers where people of like mind can kind of come and connect, and some Q&A type offerings. We will be we've never stopped doing ceremony, but we're going to be offering them as public. Opening them up to the public as well this summer, as well as if you're looking to connect with like-minded people of spiritual path, or just receive an in-person healing experience, and those will be coming back. And as usual, you can definitely still connect for readings and other spiritual insight and consulting. But we're really excited about the public ceremonies, as well as the mixer and mingle events we have.
When you have a tarot class, like you guys will be teaching a tarot class.
Yeah, one of those. Yeah, so in coincidence with the Big Zonka Tarot release, we are going to be doing a tarot talk series for those who are looking to get into the tarot or curious to learn about reading the tarot. So myself and some of our other readers are going to be doing a kind of very casual conversational style course that goes through a journey through the system of the tarot. So that's going to be coming this July. And we do have working with altars and ancestors, and a class on connecting to one's spiritual lineage. That's going to be offered this summer as well, along with manifestation and candle magic, and other, 101s, tips and tricks for the spiritually inclined. So.
And I think Pooh and Mika have been working really hard on developing their own brands.
Indeed, yeah. The ritual goods of Balance Rose and Miss Hunty. And so those are some some local ritual goods. Pooh and Mika will be definitely heading up a lot of our educational offerings on our Energy Work 101 series.
And maybe if we trust that the pandemic's going to get better and things really look better, we'll do another shaman tattoo event over at Tattoo Provider.
Yeah, that would be good.
Oh, yeah, that would definitely be dope. I wouldn't mind taking part of that. I love the ink.
I know, yeah.
So, you guys have definitely been busy. It has been a pleasure once again getting the vibe with you guys here at Kindred Spirits.
Thank you, Bobby.
You got any shout outs you guys want to give?
I have one shout out. I want to shout out to my fiance, Tao. He just passed his unlimited electrical license exam.
Okay.
Now he is like Mr. Electrical. Super exciting. You have no idea how hard that is. It's so crazy. And he's also the one who put up all this artwork for us. Like, he installed all of this for us. And it's crazy feat of engineering to get all these weird things up on the walls. So I really appreciate you, baby.
All right. You hear from the missus.
When's the wedding?
We're getting married on June 18th next year.
Okay. Well, congratulations to you. I hope I get an invite. So, I like to dance. I want to dance at the reception with you guys.
RJ is my best man.
Okay. All right. Well, tell the people how they can get in contact with you guys.
Definitely. So you can find us online. Our website is kindredspirits.ws, and you can follow us on Instagram, kindredspirits_WS. Facebook, search Kindred Spirits and look for the infinity symbol.
The infinity symbol.
Oh, and there's one other thing
never stop
to shout out to, which is Kindred Spirits itself and all the artists here. Because we were just voted runner-up Best Visual Art Gallery in the Triad by Yes Weekly.
That's true. Yeah,
and last year I got my vote as the #1 Best Visual Artist in the Triad by the same publication. So we're really holding it down here, and we really are looking forward to our Kindred Makers Collective, which is if you are a maker and you make jewelry, clothing, whatever, it could be bath salts, it could be candles, whatever you're passionate about that you make, you can come to Kindred and you can apply to be a maker here. We've got like a cool little form. You just reach out to us on one of those levels, whether it's the website, Instagram, or Facebook. We'll bring you in as an artist here and help you elevate your business and help you market it and help you make some cash.
Okay, so for all the artists out there, you guys make sure y'all tap in with Antonina or RJ down here at Kindred Spirits. Y'all make sure y'all follow me at Big_Bugatti the host, and y'all follow PinkTalk Podcast at PinkTalk_Podcast, and don't forget to follow Miss Faith at Miss_Faith_PinkTalk. Till the next episode. We'll see ya.
Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah.